All right, JeWeL bowling fans, this is Josh Lewis here for another Tips and Tricks Thursday. This week we're going to be talking about targeting. And while there are many different ways you can target, we're going to talk about how and where you should be looking to get your ball to the right spot down lane. There's a million different ways the ball can cross at the arrows or the dots, but ultimately we need to get that ball to the break point down the lane in order for the ball to be able to hook it back into the pocket. So in order to illustrate this, I'm going to put two towels on the bowling lane. One of the towels I'm going to place at roughly my break point down lane. The other towel I'm going to place just in front of where I want the ball to cross at about 10 feet past the arrows. The intent of this is that what we're going to be looking for when we're in our approach is this spot right here. Ideally, if our ball gets to right about this spot at the break point, I know that for me right now, that's going to get back to the pocket. So what I'm going to be doing is drawing a line from this spot back toward the arrows, or wherever my eyes want to start in the approach, along this line from towel to towel, and then to the arrows. So I'm likely going to have the ball cross at the arrows roughly around just right of the middle arrow, so that the ball traverses across the path that barely touches the inside of each of the towels. The point of all this is really just to illustrate having the ball cross multiple points along the lane.
While not the best shot, the ball does cross just right of the middle arrow, hitting that first towel marker and then crossing right over the break point. We've moved that first towel back and created a target window at the break point.
All right, so I'm starting out. My eyes focus down lane between those two towels. That's my break point. As I take my approach, I draw my eyes back toward the arrows, but release the ball right through that target zone. All right, so in closing, we're talking about targeting, right? We're looking at the break point down lane, finding that point where the ball starts to make its move from skid to hook. That's the point on the lane where you want your eyes to focus when you're standing in that approach, getting ready to start walking toward the foul line. As you start walking toward that foul line, you're going to draw your eyes along the target line from that break point back to whatever you look at, the arrows, the dots, just in front of the arrows. But ideally, when you get to releasing the ball, you're focused on that point, and your arm and your follow through are passing along the trajectory between that point and the break point down lane. A ball can cross your arrow or your dot at a million different ways, but it can only pass through that path between your arrow or your dot to your break point in one way. When the ball crosses both those points along that path, that is known as hitting your mark. Just because you hit the arrow doesn't mean it was a good shot. You have to watch where the ball ends up down the lane. When you do that, you're going to watch more consistent ball motion, and then you can actually make adjustments depending on, as the lanes break down, where you have to move. That's going to do it for our Tips and Trick Thursday this week. I'm Josh Lewis for the JeWeL Bowling channel here on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe our channel, and we'll be back at you with another Tips and Trick next week. Thank you.